Hello, Deanna here. Thanks so much for being here. So today's video is a book review, and the book I'm reviewing today is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. So this book is a remarkable and poignant memoir on the life of Maya Angelou. So this is the first installment of 7 books that Maya has written about her life. And in this book, we are introduced to Maya in 1930s in Stamps, Arkansas, when she's only 3 years old, traveling with her brother to live with her grandmother and uncle. This is a classic for a reason. Maya is a well-known activist, a phenomenal writer. She has her own set of poems as well. This gives readers a look into 1930s in the South from the perspective of this young child who is no longer able to live with mom or dad and has to live with her grandmother, who she soon refers to as mama. And honestly, the life that she has lived is incredible. The things she goes through, some of them are completely heartbreaking. It is something where you definitely feel for this character and are amazed when you realize it's not just a character. This is her life. This is her journey, and these are some of the things she actually went through in real life, as it is a memoir. And memoirs are unique to the writers in a lot of ways, and sometimes writers choose them to be a specific point in time. Sometimes they're a telling of their whole life. Maya is really incredible in the way she has broken them down into those 7 other books, and this one captures from when she was a young toddler at the age of 3 up until about a young mid-teenager. This covers her entire childhood and part of her teen years as well, which is just such a important part of a child's development, learning, and what they go through can really affect them long term in the future as well. The way that Maya writes in this book is very captivating and expressive without being super overly wordy, but it's still beautiful writing. It's very reminiscent to Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird style of writing, as well as the themes of those books, and the similarity is very interesting because they were both released within the same decade. They're both set in the 1930s and have racial tensions within the South. And it's interesting too because Harper Lee's is said to be semi-autobiographical, and then Maya's is purely an autobiography. It is her real life events. So it is very interesting to see how they have that similar style of writing, and that's just what sometimes when I was reading this, just that type of writing was what this reminded me of in a very similar way of how that style of writing is. I think what's important to note too is that stories like Maya's aren't being told enough, and I think we honestly need to have more room, more space for these types of stories, because these are real, true stories of real people going through things like this, and some of the struggles and barriers that they face, the prejudice that they have to come up against, and how that affects their life and how that affects them. So I definitely do think that it is important for these types of stories to be heard. I think the title of this book is very fitting in regards to knowing why the caged bird sings. That is just such a metaphor in itself in regards to trying to be silenced and trying to be oppressed and held in one spot, but a bird is going to sing. They're going to do what's natural to them and still try to find ways to express themselves. And in this particular instance, I'm just really glad that Maya did not allow herself to be silenced. She was able to push through, and especially in some of the key things that happen, like trigger warning, this has accounts of abuse happened to her, and thank goodness this little girl did not have her voice silenced the way that so many others are, and that she was able to speak up. So thank gosh for Maya and her voice, and letting her voice be heard, because it's such a powerful voice and was so needed, and we need more voices similar to this being praised and lifted up. So thank you, Maya, for releasing this. I give this book a 4 out of 5. And really, that's more leaning, I think, towards my own preferences. Some people might definitely give this a 5 out of 5 if this is their writing style that they more lean towards. Me, it's about a 4 out of 5, because sometimes I found the dialogue passages very, very long, and it was just sometimes overwhelming how much it was, and how it kept going on and on for paragraphs. So that was kind of more just, again, a preference of my own. But in reality, in some ways, this does almost deserve a 5 out of 5, because it was still a beautiful book. It flowed so nicely, and it had such compelling themes through it, and just the vulnerability that she had to share this story is really incredible. And the story itself was really impactful and amazing. It's just, in some ways, it wasn't 100% the type of writing that I lean towards, but it was still beautiful and still a very important book to read. So I'm glad I did give this one a read. I'm glad it's added to my collection. It has started me on a journey of reading more about Maya's life and continuing that journey. So not only have I read the first installment, I've now read the second installment as well, and I'm going to continue reading more of Maya's journey to get a better idea of who Maya was and what her full life was like growing up and going through all of the things she went through. So I definitely recommend this as a beautiful book to add to your collection. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a like. I do appreciate it. Subscribe, all that fun stuff that comes with the YouTube world. Always love to see it. Thank you so much. Also, check out my blog, where I also reviewed this book on my blog. I will go ahead and leave a link below for that as well. And I just want to say thank you again for watching and supporting. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Take care of yourself. Thank you again, and you will see me next time. Bye!